All right, Orlando Magic fans, we are 2 weeks away from the trade deadline, and we have not made a move yet. What should we do? What do you think Orlando Magic's going to do? Let's talk about it. I think we need a trade. We need to improve the team while the iron's hot. So let's talk about it. Welcome to the Mac Sports Attack. I am the Mac himself, Marvin Allen Cox, and we're talking about the Orlando Magic and the trade deadline. So first and foremost, let's talk about the team real quick. What do we think we need? Well, the Orlando Magic hit the ground running this year. We had that 9-game win streak. We had an amazing, record. Got up to the number 3 seed in the Eastern Conference, and we had some injuries. Okay, we already know the culprits that are usually injured in Markelle Fultz. So we're not even going to count him in the discussion. But our second best player, Franz Wagner, he was borderline an all-star player. He was on the all-star team watch and tweaked his ankle and was out a little longer than we expected, which caused us to take a dip. Now, with him back, I think we're fine. I think we're going to make the playoffs. But I would like to make the playoffs without the play-in. This team is talented enough to do so. So we need to tighten the little nuts and bolts to make that happen. And realistically, it's just good basketball business what we're going to talk about here. We have some expiring contracts on some players that we know we're not going to re-sign. So why not try to flip them and get something that can help us not only today, but in the future. We're not greedy. We don't think we're going to win a championship this year. But this team has shown that we can shock people. As the current champions of Denver Nuggets, we beat twice. So, a couple things will vastly improve the team, in my opinion. And according to the Orlando Magic communities on Bleacher Report and other places, it seems you guys have spoken as well. You want to see a trade happen. So what can we do? What will we probably do? Let's talk about some realistic options here today. So in the comments, tell me who you think we should go after. Give me some trade proposals, and then let me know if you agree what I have I have provided information that can potentially and realistically happen at the end of this video. Like, share, I appreciate it. So first, let's talk about our assets, okay? So we have some expiring contracts coming, right? Markelle Fultz, $17 million is coming off the book. Chuma Okeke, very interesting player because he's young. Sometimes he shows promise, so maybe there's a team that can buy in on his promise and who maybe want to keep him in the fold for a future. Think of Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish, he drastically disappoints from where he was drafted, but he's bounced around in the NBA for multiple different teams because they believe he can be a 3-and-D guy and potentially, a solid NBA role player. Some people think he can become a solid NBA two-way starter. So you've seen teams like the Lakers, like the Knicks, the Hawks, all take chances on Cam Reddish, and I think Okeke can be that guy. He has an expiring contract too as well, a $5 million expiring contract. We got Gary Harris. Gary Harris, in my opinion, could be a great bench player. He just gets hurt a little too often, which ends up hurting us. So that's an asset expiring contract as well. And, of course, we have Mr. Jonathan Isaac, who, he's a great defensive player when he's on the floor. That's the problem, when he's on the floor. So we got Markelle Fultz, Gary Harris, Okeke. Yes, Isaac is not exactly expiring contract, but he has 2 years left on that contract. So it's about to be up soon. I think there's a player option or something involved. I'll get more details for you. But Jonathan Isaac, a lot of people are intrigued by him because when he is healthy and he's on the floor, he does shock some people. Me personally, I want to keep Jonathan Isaac. I think he can be a difference maker in a playoff series. And, if things got down to the stretch and we did make a miraculous run like the Heat did last year, like that defensive prowess of him, if we can maintain him, rest here, play here, and keep him healthy, who knows? If we can get him a healthy Jonathan Isaac down the stretch, it'll be very helpful. So I personally would not like to give up Jonathan Isaac if possible. But hey, if he brings us in an extreme asset, why not? And a lot of people's been dangling around Wendell Carter Jr. Now, Wendell, I think, has been a great trade return for us. Still a young center. He's still in his 20s. And when he's on the floor, he does show promise. It's just he's been getting hurt a lot lately. And, it's been making fans want to get rid of him. But in the past couple weeks, when he plays, he plays well, scoring 20 and 10 one game. I personally will keep Wendell, but if he gets us a great asset, that's an asset to trade as well. And the draft picks, a lot of teams want draft picks. A lot of these trades that I'll be proposing are teams that are not doing good, right? They need a rebuild. They need a refresh. So it's like, why do we have these players that aren't going to stay here long term? So let's flip them for an asset that can get us a young player to change this around. So talking about the assets, a lot of people talk about the 2025 draft as we have 2 first-round picks. We have our first-round pick as well as the Denver Nuggets first-round pick. It is, I think, top 10 protected. Now, let's be real. The Denver Nuggets are not going to be picking that high. So we will own that right for that pick. So with us having 2 first-round picks, we have a lot of young players we've drafted in the past couple of years. It's getting to a point everybody's not going to be able to play. So you already see with Jet Howard, with us, having Trevelin Queen, both players I think that are going to turn out well for us. I'm glad Trevelin Queen with the injuries got some play time. I think he can be a good player for us Orlando Magic. But the more picks you have, the more long jam it creates, and then you're blocking players from getting into that lineup. So eventually, we want to be winning and competing for championships here shortly. So having a million picks really isn't going to help us. So it's time to start using them to help us win, right? So 2 2025 first-round picks as well as 2 second-round picks in 2025. For some reason, our Orlando Magic do not like using second-round picks. So why not use these as assets? We also have 2 first-round picks in 2026 and 2 seconds. Also, 2 seconds in 2027 and 2 seconds in 2028. What this is telling you is we got a lot going on, right? We have a lot of assets coming here near and dear. So, we want to build this winning culture. There's been a lot of articles that came out today. I'm sure if you Google online, it's showing that it says Banchero and, our old vet, the Aussie, is trying to build a winning culture. But how do we build a winning culture? We start to win. So we need to make some trades so we can start to win now. So those are the assets we have, to trade to get some of these players, right? So a lot of good assets, having 4 first-round picks in 2025 and 2026. That's amazing. So it's time to start using these assets to our advantage. So who should we be going for? First, let's go for the big trade, the unrealistic trade, the one that's probably not going to happen. This man is averaging 21 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists this season, and he's been going off lately because he knows his name is in trade rumors. Once we played them a couple weeks ago, he hugged Paulo Banchero. They're both from Seattle. We're talking about Dejounte Murray. Now, there's been a lot of speculations to almost every team that Dejounte may be traded. Dejounte, he makes $18 million a year. Now, we've seen with this new NBA, contract that they got with the TV money, these freaking contracts are going through the roof, right? The salary cap is going to increase, and these players are going to get paid more. It's starting this year as we're seeing some players getting paid up to $60 million per season, right? Dejounte Murray is not only an all-star caliber player, as he's made the all-star as early as a year or two ago. He's a two-way player, and our Magic love two-way players. We love defensive players. We love people with long wings. So Dejounte, coming from the Spurs, has that culture in his head about playing two ways. He's all-star caliber. And this is our biggest need of upgrade. So let's talk about that. What do I think will help our Orlando Magic the most is a starting point guard. We don't have that. Anthony Black has been great this season, filling in, trying to give us some starting point guard play. But let's be real, it is a little unfair to expect a rookie who is not ready to start day one to be the starter. He's great defensively, but offensively he gives us nothing. Play creation, he doesn't give us much. Now, in the future, I think he's going to be great. Hopefully in the offseason, he, goes trains with Westbrook. Westbrook being a very big defensive point guard. Maybe he can teach him how to get some love on the offensive end. Y'all going to kill me for that comment for some reason. But Anthony Black in the future, I think, has a great future coming. He's shown that, hey, he's willing to put in the work, and he's willing, he wants to get better. He said in every interview. So, but for this season and maybe next year or two, he's not ready to take over. Dejounte Murray makes $18 million a year. He's on a team-friendly contract. I think he has 4 years left on the contract at $18 million per season. To get an all-star caliber player in this NBA is costing 20, 30, 40, 50 million plus. So to get such a good player that fits how we play, it's a no-brainer to me, if it makes sense. Now, if Atlanta's talking about, we want 4 first-round picks, and they sound ludicrous, you hang up the phone. But reports have said that they are looking to get 2 first-round picks and a kind of starting caliber player in return. The LA Lakers are seen to be the front runners to get them, but their offer is not good enough. They've offered a first-round pick like in 2029. Who knows what's going to happen in 2029? I could be dead by 2029. And they also offered, D'Angelo Russell. So I think we can entice the Atlanta Hawks with our logjam of first-round picks right here. I mean, we have extra first-round picks in 2025 and 2026. So not only if we give away the second first-round pick, we'll have our own pick still. So we're not even mortgaging our future by doing a deal with them. And instead of giving them a star, starting caliber player, how about we give them some cap release? Hey, Atlanta, we have Markelle Fultz, $17 million coming off the books, and about the same amount of money with Gary Harris coming off the books. You can use that relief in money to get you a star next season. Why not? Right? So with all those players that I've talked about on expiring contracts coming off the books next season, that creates $52 million in cap space for us if we don't make a trade, right? But even so, let's say we get Dejounte Murray. So now we have an all-star caliber player at point guard. Our biggest dysfunction for the Orlando Magic this season is playmaking down the stretch. Banchero puts on all the weight on his back, and sometimes he's forced to make bad decisions. It's not a good look for a power forward to be the playmaker of the team. If you notice late in every game when we didn't have Markelle Fultz and Anthony Black was chosen to take over, Anthony Black is taken out of the game in the fourth quarter because he just doesn't have the playmaking skills and he doesn't have the scoring. Also, we've tried Suggs at the point guard position. Suggs is amazing defensive playmaker at his position, but he's not a playmaker point guard. He's not a facilitator. So that didn't work out there either. Cole Anthony is an aberration off the bench. I think he still has a chance to win Sixth Man of the Year if we figure out our starting lineup so he can go back to the bench. But sometimes we're forcing him to play starting guard down the stretch as well. So with a starting point guard, and that's going to be my focus on trades to make today, in case you were wondering, we need somebody who can organize, who can facilitate, who can play make, and also has the threat of scoring. That way it frees up Paolo Banchero even more. It frees up Franz Wagner even more. We can put in a defensive stopper at center since we don't have to worry about, we need somebody to score. Our second biggest weakness to playmaking is three-point shooting. And Dejounte Murray is shooting 39% from three. That would be one of the best, if not the best, on our team. Second to Mr. Ingles. So Dejounte Murray is a great asset. I think we can make 2 first-round picks. Take our Denver first-round pick in 2025, our second first-round pick in 2026. Give them Markelle Fultz, the expiring contract. And, we have a shit ton of seconds. 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 second-round picks between 2025 and 2028. Hey, take 2 second-round picks for fun as well. Dejounte Murray is on a team-friendly contract. He also helps us get some free agents next season. He won't. He's less than $20 million, $20 million a year for a starting point guard who is a two-way guard as well. That would be the move I make personally for the Orlando Magic. I think it locks us in to a top 6 seed, so we actually make the playoffs without making the play-in. And it gives us the win now culture because we got to retain Mr. Banchero. We didn't retain our star in Shaq. We didn't retain our star in Dwight. That needs to end, right? We want to have a star that's here for the long haul. We want to be winning for the long haul. We've endured too much suffering already. So how do you do that? Management, you showed them, hey, Paulo, we're going to do right by you. We're going to win now. We're going to create a winning culture, and we want you to stay for a lifetime. That's how you do it. Not do shit and hope we draft a star again. We've hit on the draft with Franz. We've hit on the draft with Banchero. Suggs is turning out. We need to complete the roster. DeJounte's still young. He's on a team-friendly contract, and he plays the Magic way, being a two-way player. That's the trade to make. But knowing our Orlando Magic, we won't make a big trade like that. A lot of people been saying, wishful thinking, Anthony Simons. Anthony Simons is a great player. To me, he gets hurt a little too much, but he is Damian Lillard light. I mean, in every interview, he talks about how he matches game off of Damian Lillard. A lot of other players and analysts say he looks like Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard in interviews say the kid plays like me. So he's the young version, a smaller 2.0 light version of Damian Lillard. That would be great for us as well. But I do not believe in any stretch of the imagination that the Portland Trailblazers are willing to give up Simons. I don't think they want to touch giving up Simons is their best player right now. And they're looking to build around Simons, Shaedon Sharpe, and their current first-round pick, Scoot Henderson. And Scoot isn't doing too well this season, but I don't think we're going to be so quick to give up on him. I think he'll turn out to be well. So that's a good way to start anew. So I'm not even going to touch a Simons trade because I just don't see it coming. But with that being said, because I think they want to build around those 3 players and start building for the future, I'll tell you realistically, this is the trade I think the Orlando Magic will make, the Orlando Magic could make, the Orlando Magic should make, and I'm hoping 2 weeks from today on the 8th, we're not saying coulda, shoulda, woulda. Malcolm Brogdon. Malcolm Brogdon is on an expiring contract. Malcolm Brogdon, at the end of the season, is going to walk it out on Portland. They suck. They're trash. I know he doesn't want to be there. He wants to contend. He's a tall guard, 6'4", just like the Magic like. He's a point guard. He can play the 1 or the 2. He plays good defense. He's good on the offensive end. Now, he's not as good as Dejounte Murray, but he's Dejounte Murray-like. He's a little older, and he's on an expiring contract. Now, the cool thing is you can see how his leadership is with the team. And if you don't like it at the end of the season, you let him go. Peace out. Thank you for your contribution. But I promise you, a player of his ilk will help us get back into that top 6 seeds to make the playoffs outright without making the play-in. We're only 2 games out of it. And what we're missing is starting point guard play. And Markelle Fultz is just, he was supposed to be that guy, but he just can't stay healthy. We're not going to re-sign him. It's just good basketball business to let him go. So, how about, hey, Portland, you're going to lose this guy for free. How about lose him for something? We're going to give you our point guard, Markelle Fultz, is about the same level as expiring contract. The money is close. It's like $2 million off. It matches up well. And for your troubles, we'll give you a couple second-round picks. Now, of course, they're going to fight for a first. But I don't think it's needed to be, because I don't think anybody else is going to give them a first for Malcolm Brogdon. So, we have 8 second-round picks between 2025 and 2028. We're not going to use them. We know our Magic team. We don't use second-round picks. And even if we do, we're going to use a few. 8 is a lot. So, hey, take 2. Take as many as you want. 2 second-round picks, 3 second-round picks. The Orlando Magic don't like second-round picks. I will never understand why. So why not use them as assets? Hey, take Markelle Fultz from our hands, and we'll take Brogdon. Markelle Fultz and 3 second-round picks. Let's make it happen. The Miami Heat has made a trade with Scary Terry. They got better. Indianapolis has gotten better with getting Siakam. Everyone around us is getting better. It's our turn to get better. And I think this is a very realistic trade and a very easy trade we should be able to make. Malcolm Brogdon to the Orlando Magic for Markelle Fultz and multiple second-round picks. Another trade we can make that's similar is to the Washington Wizards. All of us have been talking about Tyus Jones. Now, Tyus Jones is a little smaller. He's a 6'2 guard. But his efficiency is one of the highest in the NBA. His point guard, his assist to turnover ratio is one of the highest in the NBA. And that's really what we're missing. Now, scoring-wise, I don't think he's as good as Dejounte or Malcolm Brogdon. Defense-wise, I don't think he's as good as Dejounte Murray or Malcolm Brogdon. But he is an upgrade nonetheless of us not having any guard play from Markelle Fultz. So, hey, Washington Wizards, y'all suck as well. He's on an expiring contract as well. You're going to lose him for free. So instead of losing him for free, here's a similar expiring contract in Markelle Fultz. Just sit him down for us. We'll give you multiple second-round picks. It's a win-win for both teams, as we have a ton of second-round picks we don't know what to do with. And they get the expiring contract to use the money elsewhere. They sign Jordan Poole. They have Kyle Kuzma. They're talking about trading Kyle Kuzma. We'll see. But, hey, maybe you could convince your team with the $17 million of Markelle Fultz coming off the books, maybe we can get a player to help Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma and make this team better. Danny Avdija, he's doing well for that team as well. So, having 3 or 4 second-round picks, 2 second-round picks, maybe they can use that to get a first-round pick. That's their problem now. I think we can give them enough assets to get Tyus Jones as a 1-year rental as well. And another point guard I think we can make. So we got Dejounte Murray, which I think is should be our number one target. I think that'll be a home run. I think not only is it a home run for this year, it's home run for years to come. We got Malcolm Brogdon, who knows, it could be a 1-year rental, but maybe his veteran leadership can help us keep him. That's one reason why they've held on to Markelle Fultz so long, is because they said his veteran leadership is great in the clubhouse. So maybe Brogdon could replace that. But he actually plays. You know, we got Dejounte Murray, we got Brogdon. Now we got Tyus Jones in the mix. How about Dennis Schroeder? Now, I know a lot of people watching this video is probably like, Dennis Schroeder, turn this shit off. I don't want to hear what this kid has to say anymore. But let's be real. Dennis Schroeder is starting caliber guard in the NBA. He is now on the bench for the Toronto Raptors, who seem to giving up because they've traded Siakam away, which was their star player, Spicy P. And they also gave away OG Anunoby to the Knicks. And it's looking like the Knicks got a steal because the Knicks, since they got Anunoby, seems like they can't lose. So, with Schroeder on the bench and not playing no more, as they traded for RJ Barrett and IQ, Isaiah Quickly, they are now giving those starting minutes to them. Schroeder does have a very good relationship with some players on our team. All right? Our second best player, Franz Wagner, and his brother Mo Wagner just won an off-season tournament in FIBA with Germany. Germany's first ever championship. So they have a good rapport. And I don't know if you saw it. Google it now. Schroeder for Germany. He was electric. He was fantastic. He was the MVP of the tournament. So maybe those players can bring that higher quality of play out of him. Remind them of what they did in the summer. Either way, it's an upgrade. Everything's a damn upgrade from Markelle Fultz not playing. And I think that Dennis Schroeder can help us become way better exponentially. He's a playmaker. He's shifty. He's quick. He's just a good player, in my opinion. Like, he's not a top 10 guard, but second tier, he's in there. And, you know, I think he very much so. He's not a selfish player. He doesn't really have an ego. So it fits in well with our team. Our stars are going to still be Franz Wagner and Banchero, and he'll just help facilitate everything. It'll give Suggs a chance to just focus on defense. I just think it makes the team better. So these are some trades I have thought in my head that we can make to make this team better. We got Dejounte Murray, which would be the unrealistic, but if the Magic do it, I'm taking shots live. And I hope you go with me. We're going to take shots and dance and scream Orlando. Dejounte Murray is the number one pick, in my opinion, to trade for. We got Malcolm Brogdon, we got Tyus Jones, and Dennis Schroeder. So those are some options I would love to see the Orlando Magic go for in this trade deadline. I think that's the necessity. I think that's the number one priority, to get a point guard, to help our point guard play, to help our playmaking and facilitating get better. Now, all these players, 3-point percentages will be one of the best on our team as well. So you're increasing on that front as well. And I think after we make a trade for a point guard, then we could probably make other trades. Who knows? You get a point guard, you get one of these guys, then you can think about, okay, maybe we use one of the extra first-round picks to get Buddy Hield to really, really make our team into a winning franchise. You know, off the bench, a lot better three-point shooting, clear up our second unit. And all of these players are healthy. They stay healthy. They don't get hurt often. And that's the number one thing our Orlando Magic need desperately. I just don't get it how we get cursed with injuries, but hopefully it stops now. So if we get those point guards up, we'll make another video here. And then second moves we can talk about. We can talk about Buddy Hield. We can talk about Bruce Brown, who has just been traded to the Toronto Raptors. I mean, he tried to get money when he left the Nuggets last offseason after they won the championship. And Indy just let him go. I can't believe it. Jordan Clarkson, if the Utah wants to blow it up, would be great off the bench for us. Imagine Clarkson and Cole off the bench cooking. That would be sensational. And Alex Caruso. Everybody wants Alex Caruso. Alex Caruso is an Orlando Magic type player. You know, he plays two ways. He's not really a great starting guard, and his prices seem way too high, as right here, the reports is that the Chicago Bulls want multiple first-round picks for Caruso. That's not happening. So maybe when it comes closer to that deadline, they can change. But let's focus on what we got going on here. The Orlando Magic need a point guard. Please, God, let us trade for one. Dejounte Murray, Malcolm Brogdon, Tyus Jones, Dennis Schroeder. Who would you prefer? Do you think these are realistic trades? Do you think they're realistically attainable? Do you think I'm cuckoo? Do you hate all the trades? What do you think? I think Orlando Magic is going to get better by February 8th. And I am looking to celebrate the day. All right, guys. I'm the Max Sports Attack, Marvin Allen Cox. Thanks for watching. I'm out.